Hi there, and welcome back to Blue Ocean English, to some more grammar on the moon. Today's video is an introduction to conditionals. I will explain what a conditional is, why conditionals are important for you to learn, and show you a method for using them, so you can go outside in your world and practice using them until you're fantastic at speaking English using conditionals. So the first thing we're going to do is look at what is a conditional. A conditional phrase is a phrase that has two parts. The first part is with if or when, and then the second part is a result. So for example, if it rains, there's the if part, I will get wet, the result. So it rains, the result, I get wet. Getting wet depends on the rain. No rain, no water. Or another example, if he plays well, he will win. Playing well means he wins. Playing badly means he loses. So we have an if part and a result part, the second part. And just quickly, please notice, when we write a conditional, we use a comma between the if part and the result part. So in the middle of the phrase, we use a comma. Now let's look at why we use conditionals. Why are they important in English? So to explain why conditionals are important in English, I'm going to talk about my life. So I lived in Italy for 5 years. And when you live in a hot country like Italy in the summer, you can go to the beach a lot. Every day is hot and sunny, so you can say to your friends, let's go to the beach next Saturday. And they say, oh yeah, fantastic. Okay. The idea is, I know next Saturday will be nice. It will be a good day for the beach, because every day is a nice day for the beach in Italy. It's always hot and sunny in the summer. Here's the important thing. In England, this conversation is impossible. It's impossible. In England, even in the summer, even with global warming, it's impossible to say, next week, next Saturday, let's go to the beach, because you don't know what the weather will be. You don't know when the rain is coming. So in England, you always have to say something extra. You always have to add a second part to your phrase. If you're going outside, you have to add if it's not raining. So in Italy, you can say, let's go to the beach next Saturday. In England, impossible. You need to say, let's go to the beach next Saturday if it's not raining. We like going to the beach when it's cold, and we like going to the beach without the sun, but we don't go to the beach when it's raining. We have to add if the weather is good. In everything we say, shall we have a barbecue next Friday if the weather's good? Shall we go to the pub next Friday night in a t-shirt if it's hot? Because it might not be. So in English, there are many, many phrases that we need to make conditional in our language, in our lives, for our lives to make sense. In Italy, you can just say Saturday, beach. In England, you need to say Saturday, beach, if. Now I'm going to explain to you why conditionals are good for you to learn. So if you're trying to improve your English and speak like we do, then obviously, as I said, conditionals are very, very common. So copying us and using more conditionals is a very easy way for you to be better at copying native speakers. The other thing for exams is that conditionals are advanced grammar. So, as I always say, if you're using advanced grammar in an exam, you're going to get a good score. If you keep using conditionals in different ways, not repeating the same style, but keep using different conditionals, it will help your exam score. And it's a formula. Each conditional, there is a formula. You can practice each one individually again, and it's always the same formula, and you can learn them very easily. They're not hard if you just isolate and choose each conditional and learn them individually, you can repeat, and they will not be difficult for you to use. And the last reason for learning conditionals is that they're very, very flexible. You can imagine if you put the word if and then all the things that you can think of after is using if or when, and then keeping the grammar and changing the words is very flexible. So you can say almost everything with conditionals. So let's look more detail at the conditionals. There are 4 different types of conditional. There is the zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, and the third conditional. Each one uses different grammar, different tenses, and choosing the right conditional is not hard if you have a method. You need a method for choosing which conditional do I need to use. I will give you a method. Choosing a conditional depends on 2 things, not just what you are saying, so the subject, but also who is saying it. Firstly, we will look at the choice of subject, and then we'll look at person saying it. So my method for remembering which conditional you should use is to use the word trip. Trip. So I said there are 4 conditionals. The zero conditional is using T, and this means true. So we use the zero conditional for things that are true. And here we use the present simple in the if part and the present simple in the result part. So present simple, present simple. The first conditional with the letter R is real. We use the first conditional. For things that are real, we use the present simple and any modal verb. So that's can, could, would, should, might, need to, etc. The second conditional is with the letter I, and this is for things that are impossible. In the second conditional, we use past simple and any modal verb. And the third conditional with the letter P is for things that are in the past. And here we use the past perfect and then any modal verb, have, and the past participle. We will look at each conditional in much more detail later, but for now, this is the basic grammar for each conditional. Just a couple of points about the last conditional, the past conditional. The first thing to say is it's much harder. Be patient with the grammar. It's difficult. It's not easy. So be patient. The second point is it's the only conditional that's connected to time. The others are about if something is true, if something is real or impossible. It's about the facts of things. But this conditional, the third conditional, is about time. And the last thing to remember about this is the grammar looks more complicated than it is. Really, you can think about it as the past perfect and then a modal verb, and then really it's like the present perfect, but you never use has. So it's like the present perfect. So I also said it depends on the person. So a conditional, not only your choice of conditional depends on what is being said, but also who is saying it. And this is important. So for example, I'm an English teacher. I'm native English. I can say, if I teach a 3-hour English grammar lesson, it would be fun. So I can use the real conditional. But if you did a 3-hour English grammar lesson and you were the teacher, you would think of it as impossible. So you would use the impossible conditional. So you would use the past simple. And you might say, if I taught a 3-hour English grammar lesson, it would be a disaster, maybe. So the grammar, the conditional that you choose depends on who is saying it. For me, something is real. For you, it's impossible. For you, something is real that for me, it would be impossible. So things that you can do and things that other people can do make something real or impossible. Another example, if we imagine that we are both talking about speaking English, I would use the first conditional maybe to talk about myself speaking English. So for example, if I speak perfect English, it's natural, it's easy for me. But maybe you would use the impossible conditional, the second conditional, to say, if I spoke perfect English, it would be very hard, because for you, it's not real, it's not true, it's impossible. So speaking English for me is very easy. I can use the zero, the true conditional, or the first, the real conditional. But speaking perfect English for you is almost impossible, so you would use the second conditional. So the conditional that you need to use depends very much on who is saying it, not just what is being said. And so the last thing to say is that it's not just if or when that we use in these conditionals. And one last thing to say about conditionals, you don't always need to put the if part first at the start of the phrase. You can begin with the result part, so reversing the phrase. The only difference is that when you write the phrase, we don't use a comma. So if you put the result part first, there's no comma in the middle of the phrase. If you put the if part first, we use a comma in the middle of the phrase. So that's it for the introductory lesson for conditionals. In the next 3 videos, we will look at the conditionals separately in more detail. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again next time. Here we are, just another typical English summer day. Just before I go, it's just me doing everything here at Blue Ocean English. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to see more, please don't forget to leave a comment. Maybe you have an idea for a video or a nice background picture that you'd like to see, or share this video with a friend. The best way for you to say thank you is to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and check out my merchandise, all the nice things you can buy, t-shirts, hats. You can also check out our great books on Amazon. There's 3 phrasal verb books, An Ocean of English phrasal verbs, each book with 200 examples, a lovely picture, and 3 clear examples of how we use each phrase. And then 3 books for idioms, they're called An Ocean of English Idioms. Also 3 books with 600 idioms, 200 in each book, all with a picture and 3 clear examples of how we use each idiom. Thank you very much for watching, and wherever you are, try to feel English today.
I was happy in the haze of a drunken hour, but heaven knows I'm miserable now. I was looking for a job and then I found a job, and heaven knows I'm miserable now in my life. Why do I give valuable time to people who don't care if I live or die? Two lovers entwined pass me by, and heaven knows I'm miserable now. I was looking for a job and then I found a job, and heaven knows I'm miserable now in my life. Oh, why do I give valuable time to people who don't care if I